Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. Got a good project I'm going to be working on today. As you can see here, I got two sets of steps on the camper. I'm going to explain why I have two sets of steps on the camper, and then we're going to explain what we're going to be doing today to try and improve on the design I have. So as I was saying, I have two sets of stairs here. First set I have here is the one that came with the camper. These are the aluminum steps. They obviously fold up. I'm not sure what these are called technically. Accordion steps maybe. And these steps here, as I said, they came with the camper. They worked pretty well. I had to bolt them to the back of my homemade riser piece here that I built for the camper. And because my truck sits so high, standard, just a stock 2017 F250, these steps were actually not long enough, not quite long enough for me to be able to reach the ground. And for the first year I had to actually just put an extra step. I had an extra stool that I would just put over here to create my first step. That worked all right for a couple of trips, and then I went ahead and actually built an extra step. As you can see right here, I actually went out and just purchased some more aluminum and cut it all out and re-riveted it on and extended the steps, which worked pretty well. The last thing I needed to do was put a aluminum step over here instead of this wood one, because this wood one wouldn't allow me to compress it as much as it could be. But it still worked pretty well, and it really was allowed me to, as you can see, access the camper pretty well. The only problem I was having is they're not real sturdy, as far as they do have a little bit of play in them. There's no handle. This truck sits pretty high. So for myself, it wasn't too bad, but for the wife, it can be a little tricky walking in and out sometimes. Not only that, if we had unlevel ground, I was always playing around with shimming the bottom step here and trying to get it so it was level. And if I had the bottom step level, the top step was leaning down, you might not be able to see it right there. But anyway, I could never quite make it exactly right. I mean, it worked well, but I was always longing for something a little better. So that's when I built these. I just built these a few weeks ago. We've been on a couple trips with them now. They work pretty well. They work real well compared to these right here in terms of being sturdy. They're secured real well to the backing here. As you can see, I had these stairs secured with all those screws there. And as I said, it worked pretty well, but didn't give you that secure feeling when you were going up them as much. Not that I was afraid they were going to fail, but so I built these, and as you can see, I've got a couple of hinges right here. And what that allows me to do, now these stairs aren't going to be as compact as these, but what I did like is that they do fold up out of the way. Let me show you what we got here. So for now, what I've been doing is just I use this tie down. I put a couple of them. I'll put one right here, as you can see, and I'll just kind of strap them up there, and those work really, really well. The one thing I like about them is that this right here, and I added this little feature with some aluminum, extruded aluminum that I had, and I was able to make some legs. And what those legs allow me to do is, for unlevel ground, wherever I go, I can adjust those. As you can see, there's a knob, and that allows me to move these. You've got quite a bit of play here, as you can see. And so that's a really nice feature. It really makes these stairs sturdy, stable, and no matter what the ground situation is, seems to work really well. I could have done something similar with these, but there's one small issue I do have with these stairs, and that's the issue I'm going to try and address with today's little project. Let me show you. Okay. As I was saying, one issue I have is when I bring a trailer along with me, which doesn't happen often, but occasionally when I do bring a trailer with me to bring my four-wheeler or whatever we're towing for our vacation trip, you can see my stairs are hitting the trailer. Probably not a good situation right there. That's not going to work. Couldn't even open the door right now if I wanted to. Now, a couple things. Obviously, I could disconnect the trailer, move it out of the way. That's fine. That's doable. But when I have a 600-pound four-wheeler and or other items in this trailer, it's not always the one thing I want to be doing if I need to access the camper real quick or whatever, just for something minor. I don't want to be taking the trailer off. So, trailer is going to be staying on the truck. That's the objective. So that then leads to, how am I going to get these stairs to be able to reach the ground? Well, I could try swinging this trailer a little bit to the side every time I parked it, and if I can show you the right camera angle, theoretically, if I could turn this trailer a little bit to the side, I might be able to get those stairs to come down just on the side of this, right over here, let's say, if I move that trailer over. But again, that's not really a good convenient situation, given that I may be in a situation where I can't turn the trailer sideways or something. It's got to stay straight like it is right now. So that's not going to be a solution for me. Another thing I thought of when I was building these stairs is, and I ran out of time at the time I built them, I just wanted to try it out, was possibly look at making another fold in these stairs somewhere in this area right here, so that they would actually have two hinges and fold twice. So I would fold them down once and then the whole thing up. That might work, but to me it doesn't look like, even if I did it somewhere in this area, I would still have enough clearance here. Plus it would still give me the issue of putting the stairs on the trailer, and again, trying to avoid all that. My next solution was to build a little bit of a, I guess you'd say, a platform right here that would angle these stairs out and bring them down over here. So now if I could get these stairs to just angle instead of being straight, this angle right here, I could fold them down. That would work well. It's on the driver's side, come around, bring the stairs down, access the trailer. The problem with that is, on this side, if I try to access this, the door only opens to the left with a left-hand swing this way. So it wouldn't be real convenient to be standing right here and try to open this door and work your way around every time you want to get in and out. So that's not going to work. Which means the only solution I have left really is to do this idea, but over on this side of the trailer. So from this side of the trailer, I could make these stairs come down right in this area here. The problem, unfortunately, is a couple of things. One, I've got to set a ladder right here, so I'm kind of limited on where I can fold these stairs up. So I got to be careful, because these stairs fold up and I want to angle them near this ladder. I don't want the ladder to be in the way. You can see the stairs are closer than the ladder. So I've got a very small space to work in here in terms of trying to figure out exactly how I want to get these to angle out. And then the next question would be, do I still want to make the second cut in the stairs? I'm thinking I do. I'm prepared to do that. I've got what I need. But if I could first get this figured out in terms of a small platform and getting it to open up here. One other thing I just wanted to point out real quick is this door is not centered on the camper. So I don't know if you can see it from the back here, but basically you can see where the door is more to this side of the camper than this side, which makes it a little difficult, or more difficult. It would be ideal if I could put the stairs over here because it's just closer to this side of the camper. But again, my door doesn't open the right way. If the door opened to the right hand swing, it would be perfect. but it doesn't, and I'm not going to be able to switch it. So we're just going to make do with what we have to work with in terms of this space right here. And I'm going to go ahead and start taking these stairs off, and then I'm going to make a platform here, just a little bit of a platform with an angle on it. I've got to get the angle right and see if I can figure out how I'm going to get those stairs to open up down in this area here, and that'll make it nice and convenient to go up and into the camper. All right, now I've got the stairs off. They come out pretty easy, and I've got the trailer mounted back on, and I've got it straight because that's primarily, I figure if it works this way, it'll work anyway. So unless it was all the way over here, obviously, but I can avoid that. So now I got to see if I can figure out how I'm going to make these fit in that little tight area. Let me see if I can make this work. Just as I feared, I'm going to have a little problem here trying to clear this ladder. I got to figure out how I can get it out of here in this area. I don't want to extend this out too far. I want to try and keep this platform as close to the back as possible. I don't want it to extend any further than I need to. It's just extra weight and extra flex that I need to worry about anytime you start extending out too far. So I don't want to be coming out any further than I need to. I'm going to just kind of play around with this a little bit here, try to come up with a plan now that I have the stairs mounted, and see how I can line this up and build the minimal least amount of platform that I need to build to extend out here. Let me figure this out. So as you see, I attached a couple legs, just trying to get some idea, rough measurements of what I'm going to need to build here. I think I've got it lined up pretty well to clear everything. There's always going to be a little bit of clearance issues here depending on how I park and with the trailer and whatnot, but I can deal with that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make some kind of a prototype just to see if I can rough it in, make sure that my idea is going to work before I get too carried away, and then I'll go ahead and finish off what I need to do as far as making it permanent. You know, I managed to get this little piece of framing done right here. I don't have anything attached yet. I'm just still trying to make sure my angle's right, but if that looks like it could work, I just got to, obviously there'll be another piece going across this section down here to kind of finish it off somehow. But basically, if I determine that my angle is good right here, if not, I just got to keep playing with this angle down here to give me the right angle. I can move it over this way a little bit if I don't clear quite, but like I said, that's what I got to figure out right now, is just exactly where I'm going to leave that angle right here to get these stairs in the right position here. So, all right, so I got this little frame made. I got it screwed to the back here. It's pretty solid. Gonna need a couple of braces, or at least a brace in between there somewhere probably, but I'll figure that out later. For now, I just want to see if I have my angle correct without totally messing something up as far as getting it all screwed together. I haven't put this hinge, screwed that on. I'll probably screw that on, and then as you see, I've got a little bit of room to move this up, down, and around a little bit. I've actually, once I put the wood on the top here for the top part, I want this part to match level, so I'll figure out what I need for spacing here, and put my floor in there so I can determine how high I want this. But I'll probably go ahead and put the screws in for the hinge next. Okay, well, time for the test here. See if I've cleared this ladder when I fold this up. Kind of got everything temporarily put in place. I don't have all the screws in the hinges, and maybe need a few more supports, but all in all, I'm ready to see if I can clear. If I can clear this ladder, which it looks like it will, then I can go ahead and finish securing this all up, and my next objective will be to make this second fold in this ladder here somewhere with more hinge, with a piano hinge I should say, more hinge. I did replace the two hinges I had with this piano hinge. One of the screws broke off in the hole, and then one of the holes lined up with one of the old hinges. So I got a couple of little things to fix on that, but all in all, pretty happy with that. And so let me see if this folds up. All right, that worked out pretty well. I actually got a little more gap here than I want. I'm gonna actually go ahead and move that in. I'd like to have this up somewhere close, not touching, but somewhere close, so that this ladder may be able to be used as some kind of a, to hold this stairs in place. I'm not sure yet. I may have some other ideas on that, but either way, I wanted to keep it close without touching, just so that I can utilize as much room as I can down in this area here. So I'm going to go ahead and move it over just a little bit more, close this gap up. Oh, third time's the charm, I guess. I had it out too far this way, cut it in half. And I got a pretty good gap right here. It's pretty close. And obviously what's happening right now is the weight of the whole thing. It's just kind of out over here, so the whole thing's kind of just leaning this way a little bit. So I've only got this kind of temporarily screwed. I was just kind of putting it together, roughing it out to see if I could do it and how it would work out. And now that I know this idea will work, I'll be able to come back and just redo everything, glue, screw, make sure everything's nice, new, tight. But one other thing I like about this, I didn't realize, was, as you might have just noticed, I can actually open the door without even put the stairs down. And I couldn't do that before. So I kind of like that. Like I said, my next objective will be to just kind of make another cut in here somewhere so I can fold these down and have half the height. It'll just make it easier to store and less weight flopping around back here. So that's a good start to the project. Still a little bit more to go. I got a couple more days before I got to get this done and ready to go. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with the progress I made so far. And I've achieved basically what I wanted to do, which was find a way to mount these stairs so that I could keep this trailer on here and still be able to access the door and clear the ladder right here. So definitely was able to achieve that, and all in all, we'll come back and finish this up and polish off this project in the next day or so.